Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Bobby Wayne Poetry Hour. Tonight, I'm going to be reciting to you a poem inspired by and dedicated to the current President of the United States, Donald Trump. It is called, fittingly enough, Santa Takes a Dump on Trump. When the thought first came to Santa, it was just for his amusement, prompted by the telltale signs of an advancing bowel movement. It was juvenile for certain, but it made him loudly chuckle as he felt his stomach churning, pushing tight against his buckle. Well, the thought would not be vanquished, and it soon became a plan, a means of venting all his anger at one very naughty man. But Santa knew he'd have to hurry if he hoped to pull it off, because the process had been started and was difficult to stop. So he stalled his bowels through Mexico and raced into the States. He clenched his cheeks through California to help fortify the gates. He added in some rhythmic breathing from Nevada to Missouri when it felt like any bump might make him drop his payload early. He had pain in Illinois that turned his tear ducts into fountains, felt contractions from Kentucky to the Appalachian Mountains, but heroically he held it, clamping hard on every tooth, until his sleigh had finally landed high upon the White House roof. Then with one last mighty clench, he quickly scrambled from his sleigh and hobbled crab-like to the chimney with the countdown underway. Then he released his bursting buckle, dropped his pants, and scaled the brick, and swung his bum across the stack just as the final seconds ticked. Then, like a rocket on a launching pad, he fired his rectal thrusters, disengaging from his load with all the strength that he could muster, and it made the chimney tremble, and he held on while it bucked. Then he finished off the paperwork and pulled his trousers up. Now, at first his knees were wobbly, almost felt like he would faint, until the blood came rushing back, restoring service to his brain. So he then signaled to his reindeer as he marched back to his sleigh and thrust a fist into the air as he continued on his way. Now in the morning, Santa sent a simple message to the press, and he apologized to those whom he had angered or distressed. But he insisted times were changing and he had to be more tough, and that for certain naughty people, lumps of coal were not enough. The end. Here is the one illustration I have for this poem. I want to thank you all for tuning in tonight to the Bobby Wayne Poetry Hour, and I hope to see you all again next year for another rousing recital of Santa Takes a Dump on Trump. Good evening, everybody.